All right, guys, let's play some more Run 8. We're going to be taking this 10,000 ton manifest down what I consider one of the trickier grades in game, at least on the routes that I have. That's going to be the Ash Hill grade on the Needle sub. We talked about it a little bit in some of the previous videos, and I said I want to take a heavy train down that grade to try it out. So I've been doing that. Playing around with it, and I've had a heck of a time trying to get this video done. Like, OBS is giving me trouble, so hopefully this will work this time. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we're at East Ash Hill. This is the bar gout. Let's go ahead and we'll hop into cab, and we'll go to our cab scene here. There we go. All right, so we're going to kind of rush through this start a little bit here. It's may not be like 100% legit, but there we go. Actually, you know what? Actually, before we do that, I want to do something before we go that far. Let's grab this guy right here, and we need to cut out his dynamic. Here we go. DB cutout. We're going to hit cutout. There we go. Now we're good to go. Got us a little bit of a meat here too. While we wait, let's get the window open because you can't railroad with the window shut. Now I think we're set. Brakes are off. Let's release the handbrake. Let's go to like number 3 and release the independent. And we need to get auto engaged while we're blasting off here. Let's engage auto all routes. Someone asked, how do you get this menu to pop up? All you do is mouse over to the left-hand side. Top left-hand side of the screen is going to pop up for you, but it has to be the left-hand side. It can't be the right or it won't come up. We got auto going. Let's go to channel 55. There you go, dispatcher channel 55. We'll just kind of keep easing up here while we wait on that signal. We're at the tone here in just a second. Let's do DTMF. Tone 12 to talk to Otto. Back out the throttle a little bit here. Let's move my drink out of the way before I spill it on there. Yes, we need a signal, Otto. Slow forward the crossing. Come back to N1, kind of ease up here a little bit. We're anticipating the signal. It's not exactly okay to anticipate a signal, because we may not get one, but for our purposes, it'll work out. So yeah, Ash Hill, kind of a tricky grade, I think. If you look, it says 0.0, so it's flat coming into it. It's how we were able to blast off the way we did. But if you look at it, like looking at it out the window, it looks like you're going up and cresting, but you're really not. It's flat and it's just dropping off like crazy on the other side. It's one of those grades where I really feel like it's a place in game, or one of the few places in game, where you really have to think ahead of your train to negotiate this grade. There's not a lot of wiggle room as far as transitioning. Someone left a comment and said they like setting the air up early and then dragging it over and, you know, powering over it with the air set up. Let the brakes heat up, get sticky. Yeah, I agree with that 1000%. I think that's a good way to do it. But yeah, it's tricky. Like on Tehachapi, you got a very gradual transition. Like you've got all the time in the world, just at least it seems like. It's nothing imminent or rushed. Like you start getting into your dynamics and, you know, gathering your train, and then get to B5 or B6 and you start setting the air up. So it just doesn't feel very, very rushed. Anyway, we're going to pause it right here. We're going to look at the employee timetable. We're going to multimodalways.org. We're looking at the 2008 BNSF California and LA division timetable. Last video, we looked at 2002. 2002, 2008, not much difference. They added a main 3 from what I can tell, but otherwise it's pretty similar. We're at East Ash Hill. We're fixing to knock that signal down. It's going to be to 686.3. West Siberia is a 676.6. All right, so Ash Hill to Siberia is the bulk, like the major portion of the grade. Just west of Siberia is the chute, is 2.4% grade downhill. It's all roughly 1.5 down for the most part, all the way to Baghdad. But Ash Hill to Siberia is the major part of it. There's a few spots that kind of lessen a little bit. If you go down below that and you look at it, it'll say speed regulation, speed maximum, and then it'll say main 1, main 2, main 3. We're on main 2, eastbound. If you look under main too, it'll say milepost 685.8 to milepost 671.4. Freight train speed 45 mile an hour. So that's another tricky part of this grade, because you look in run 8, it says current train track speed is 55. We have a reduction to 50 and 1.7 miles. I think that reduction is about maybe where the 45 is at. Either way, the point is, run 8 has you going down the grade 5 mile an hour faster than what is actually posted in real life. And we've talked about the speeds vary a good bit in run 8 versus real life. And for the most part, it doesn't really matter a whole lot, but I really feel like this is one of the instances where it absolutely matters. To me, going down at 45 feels a lot different than going down at 50. Going down at 50 in this train, or a heavy train, just feels like you're going down by the seat of your pants. 45 feels more at ease and under control, at least in my mind. If we scroll on down below that list, it's going to say, unless otherwise restricted, the maximum speed for freight trains is 70 mile an hour, except milepost 685.8 to 671.4. So the Ashiel grade, you can only do 45. That's a hard 45. No wiggle room, no exceptions or anything like that. So basically, you're going to be doing 45 from just a little bit east of East Ashiel to a little bit west of a place called Baghdad. So yeah, that's what the timetable says. And we're going to do the 45. I like the 45 a whole lot more than I do the 50. It doesn't sound like a lot, right? It really just doesn't sound like a lot, 5 mile an hour, but to me, it feels like a lot. All right, here we go. So what we're going to do, we had the viewer said they like to grab air early. Now, our situation is a little different because we're starting off from a dead stop and we got a whole lot of speed to make up before we get the line speed. So we're going to motor for a bit, and then we're going to start grabbing some air while we're still pulling on it. We're doing N4 right now until we get our speed up. Then we'll start grabbing some air, and we'll start backing out of the throttle. Then we'll transition to dynamics when we need it. I think that works out pretty good for me. But once again, my usual disclaimer, I need something to put on the screen. I'm not a real life engineer, never was. Don't know anything about it. This is just purely within the confines of Run 8. All right, now we got that out of the way. Getting a lot of DPU errors. I hope it isn't going to drop out on us. That would suck. That would definitely throw a wrench in things if it did. There we go. We'll let her carry on to about 30, and then we'll start grabbing the air. If we were, like, if we had to stop back there and we were just rolling along at line speed or as best as we could do, we probably would just go ahead and set up there earlier before we even got to the bridge. Just keep pulling on it that way. All right, let's grab a minimum set and let's bail it off. You can absolutely motor with the air under the train. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. They used to do it all the time back in the day. Nowadays, it's sacrilege to touch the air. They don't want you touching the air, but I think you can power brake up to like number 4, stretch brake, power brake, whatever you want to call it. But back in the day, they did it all the way up to number 8, and they had to. It was a necessity, so you wouldn't kill the guys in the caboose. They had to, oops, I didn't mean to do that. They had to stretch brake like crazy to protect those guys on the bottom of the train. We're backing out a little more. So I want to try to do between 40 and 45. But yeah, power braking is not a big deal. Like, they demonize it now per the rule book, but it's all about money. That's what it really boils down to. Power braking, stretch braking, whatever you want to call it, is not it's not fuel efficient, and fuel is everything nowadays. It's a ton of wear and tear on brake shoes, and that's more money. So it all boils down to money, basically, is what it's all about. Let's go ahead and come out of that. Let's get 2 more, making it even 10 for now. Bail you off, and let's set up the dynamics. There you go, looking good. Let's just hang out here for a second. Let her get over 40. Yeah, it's definitely all about money. I'm an air guy. I love using air. Southeast routes, I darn near use air exclusively. I hardly ever use dynamics. There's certain situations that I do, but for the most part, I like using the air. I think there's an art to using there. There's so much more to it too than just like straight up just setting your brakes up and knocking them off. Like there's so much more to it, soft sets and all that kind of stuff. But you know, I think it's more challenging. I like having power available to me when I want it, and you have that when you use the air. When you're in dynamics and you want to transition out of a sag and you're in like heavy dynamics, but you want heavy power coming up on the the uphill side, like that's going to take some time. It's going to take some time to come all the way out of dynamics, go into power, and then all the way into the throttle that you need. Like that takes time and it covers some distance. But if I want power immediately available to me, just grab some air and then knock it off and got your power. There's no delay, right? There's no delay whatsoever. There they are, 42. Let's start going a little deeper in dynamics here. We'll probably do, we'll see. We'll do no higher than B6, and we'll kind of see what she does as far as if we need to grab more air. We're definitely going to have to grab more air on the chute. That is for certain. The grade lessons here is 1.57 down. So I have to back off the dynamics a little bit. But it'll pick back up. It'll start increasing. It'll get to 2%, and then next thing you know, 2.4%. Now you see the grade, the line splits up here. You got the high grade line going to the right, low grade line going to the left. High grade line is the steep descent, the 2.4. It's shorter, it's more direct. Whereas the low grade line kind of meanders around, so it's not as steep as the high grade. It's for trains going uphill. Let's go with this a little bit. She got a little slower than I wanted her to. We'll just ride with it for a bit. Let her pick her speed back up. I guarantee we'll absolutely have to grab some more air up here at the chute. We'll just see what she does. But the main thing is no higher than B6. We'll say B5, B6, and just grab air to finish off the rest. That'll be basically how you balance down a grade with air and dynamics. It's not that hard. It's a lot of fun. It is a little more challenging on this grade because like you have to let go of the air at Siberia because the grade lessens a good bit to like 0.85%. Then on the other side of Siberia, it drops back to like 1.5, maybe 1.42, something like that. So then you have to grab the air again. And you ride that down to just west of Baghdad, and it lessens again to like 0.75. You have to let go of the air again, and then it's 1.4 back into Baghdad and grab the air again. So you have to go back and forth a little bit with it. All right, let's go ahead and grab 2 more, and let's bail that off. I always bail it. It's a habit for me, a personal thing. I know if I just get in the habit of bailing it all the time, no matter what, then you won't ever forget to do it. All right, here we go. We're coming up to the chute. Another tricky part about the chute, we're a really short bowling ball of a train, 4,400 feet, 10,000 tons. All our train is going to be on this straightaway at one time, and it's going to run us fast as hell because we won't have any rolling resistance of the curves to help slow us up, because curves actually do kind of help slow you down a little bit. That rolling resistance, we won't have that. So once all of our train gets on this straightaway, like if you're not watching it, she will take off on you like a scalded dog. Like she will go. part of, you know, it's the part of running a short, heavy train like that is what makes it challenging. A 12,000 foot stack train would run probably a little differently through here than our train. All right, got a crossing here, so we got to remember that. We got to grab. Here we're going to get 2 more. Fill that off. There we go. She seems to be holding pretty good. Once again, we got dynamics cut out on the very bottom units, so not all the units have working dynamics. We got 2 units on the bottom, 2 DPU. Fill our bill there. I think right up in here is when she's going to start running on us because we're going to be all in the grade at one time. So we've drawn down 14 pounds. That's what we're riding with for now. We get around this curve a little ways where the lines start to merge back together is about where we're going to have to let go of it. Depending on what our speed is when we come out of here. But somewhere, roughly somewhere in there, maybe a little early if you're kind of slow going into it, or a little later if you're kind of fast. He seems to be holding good though here. I think we're okay. Yeah, we'll probably just go ahead and let go of it where it merged together. I was thinking with that unit cut out on the bottom, we might have to grab a little bit more, but I think we're fine. It's already down to 2% grade. So we could probably start backing out the dynamics just a hair. There we go. Now you see lines merging back together. And the grade is lessening. It's already 1.45. We'll hang on to the air for a little bit. We'll back out of the dynamics, and then we'll let go of the air, and then we'll have to go back into the dynamics for a bit. She'll kind of accelerate a little bit coming up to Siberia. She'll seem like she's going to take off on you, and then she'll start to slow up because the grade slacks off. All right, let's keep going with it just a little bit. A little bit faster going into the merge here, so we're going to hang on to the air just a little bit longer. All right, there we go. Let's let go of it. Start getting back into the dynamics. Let's see, she kind of takes off on you a little bit here. Got a road crossing, got a blue core. But it's only 0.95%. It's briefly 0.95%. Now it's 1.05 down. So we'll just go for this. Yeah, we'll go with this for a bit. And then on the other side here, when the grade starts picking back up, we'll grab some more air. A little deeper in dynamics here. Let's do briefly B7 because I'm trying to give the air time to pump up. Okay, back to B6. All right, we should be good. Let's go ahead and get a minimum. We'll eventually make it. We'll make it 10, so we won't have to worry about stuck brakes. We'll eventually work our way. We'll just keep doing split reductions of 2 till we get to 10, and then 10 will be all we need. Now that we set the air up, let's back out of dynamics a little bit. There we go. All right, let's get 2 more. Fill that off. We're running a little bit fast on us here. 46 is just a mile. This is 1 mile per hour. I'm not sweating that. Okay, let's go ahead and get 2 more. Fill that off. There we go. You should start slowing up on us a little bit now, and then we'll have to start backing out of dynamics a tad. So we'll ride this 10 pounds, I think, down to the next spot. It'll go through a few curves, like a left-hand curve, and then it'll a little straightaway, and then it'll come back up to the right. And right about there is where the grade lessens a good bit. I think it's like 0.85 or something like that. Right about there is where we'll let go of the air. And we'll ride the dynamics again till almost just about getting into Baghdad. Baghdad is like 1.4 down into there. And I like to grab air for that last little bit going into Baghdad because it allows me time to come out of dynamics and be set up in power so we can motor out of the SAC, because there's going to be a little bit of a climb coming out of Amboy or Baghdad, like 0.15% or something, very tiny grade. But either way, we'll need to be in power climbing out of there. So like if we go ahead and ditch the dynamics early, then we're ready for that. At least that's the way I look at it. Like I said, it may not be correct, the correct way to do it, but it's what works for me in game. They're doing 44.6, so she's doing real nice. We'll keep going with this. And you got us another meat here, some kind of grain train. It's like an earthworm. Got some old school power in it. Our grade's 1.5 down at this part. Look back over our train. I love looking back over like that. I think just the other end of this straightaway here is where it curves back to the left. It's crazy. Like, this is 1.45 down, but it looks relatively flat, right? Like, you can't go off the visual. Like, this is the most like unimpressive terrain ever. You know, it looks so flat, but it's 1.5% down. That is a like, even 1.45 is a legit grade. There's nothing to sneeze at, but it just looks so unimpressive right here as far as like the terrain. All right, there's our curve back to the left, so we'll have excuse me, a little straightaway and a curve back to the right. And when we see it, you look at it, the curve back to the right looks like it's kind of going uphill just a little bit, but it's actually not going uphill. It's an optical illusion. It's actually where the grade just lessens, so it's not as steep. You'll see it here in just a second. Right up here. All right, you see, so curve to the left looks like it's dropping down, and then the curve at the right looks like it's going up over a little knot right there. It's not. It's like 0.85 or something like that there. Like 0.85, 0.9% grade. So that's the point. We'll let go of the air somewhere down in there. Yeah, it is. It's crazy, like how looking at the terrain, like it kind of tricks you. You know, you would like 0.85% grade is still a pretty decent downhill grade, but it doesn't look like looking at it, it doesn't look like it at all. And this is, it's one of those spots where you could have some variation to it. We could, like, instead of just letting go of the air, we could just come out of dynamics and go into power and like motor through that area. Instead of letting it drag us down, we just pull through it, which is fine. You can pull through it and we'll just keep the same 10 pounds all the way into Baghdad. We could do it that way, maybe. The only problem that I've seen motoring with the brake set for like any kind of distance at all is that you get hot brakes. And I kind of feel like the hot brakes are a little bit extreme as far as like how fast and how much they heat up. I don't know. I don't know. I've had that problem going down Cajon. I've had that problem going down Cajon with a heavy old school coal train and like riding a heavy set down and getting like hot brakes. And they did it all the time back in the day. I don't know what they do now, but back in the day they rode a heavy set. I've even seen a picture somewhere, I mean it was realpictures.net, of a really old school Santa Fe coal train coming down Cajon, and like the brake shoe smoke coming off that thing was insane. But he was dragging it. Like they had to get such a heavy set further up the grade that when they got to the bottom of it, they had to drag it, but they couldn't necessarily let go of the air. But if you try that in game, you get hot brakes. So I'm not exactly sure like how to get around that. All right, you see right down here is Baghdad. There you go. It looks like a steep climb out, but it's actually not. It's only 0.15. It's just we're coming down steep and then it's just a little gradual climb out of there. Let's get a minimum set. Bail it off. We're going to get 10 to avoid stuck brakes. And we're going to start backing out of dynamics. Let's get another 2. There we go. Bail that off. Come all the way out. Not too fast. Don't want the head end to run out on us, but which it did anyway. I wound up letting it run out anyway, but didn't cause a problem. All right, get 2 more. Here we go, back in dynamics just a tad here. There we go. All right, I think we can ditch the dynamics now. And that's basically it. This is, it says we can do 55. This is where things get strange in game. The 45 on the timetable ends at the 671.4, which is down here about maybe where that switch is at. But in game, it ends west of Baghdad. But on the timetable, the 671.4 is actually to the west of Baghdad. So I don't know. There's something weird with the milepost through here. They may be a little bit off or something like that. We'll just we'll go ahead and let go of the air, and we'll motor out of here. So you see, we're already pulling on it. We're already kind of stretched out a little bit. We can look at her and see what she's doing. Yeah, she got a little slack going through the sag down there, but like you can motor right on out of here. You're good to go. Like we didn't have to wait on dynamics, man. If we'd rode dynamics down into there, we would have been heavy dynamics and we would have had to come all the way out and wait and then go all the way into power, and we would have been on the uphill side of this grade a good bit before we ever would have been able to get into the power grid. So that's why I like air. Just air's just, for one, it's fun. And like I said, you've got power available to you when you need it. As far as continuing, we got this little 0.15 to 0.1% grade. Then it'll drop off down into Amboy. You'll go through Amboy, you'll get on the other side of Saltus, and then you get a pretty good, almost like a 1% grade coming out of Saltus over this little knot called Bolo Hill. It's kind of a famous railfan location where people make pictures. Like, you can make a picture of a eastbound train at Bolo Hill, climbing over Bolo Hill, and you can get a train 20 miles away in the background coming down Ash Hill. So it's kind of a cool location. But either way, you'll climb 1% into Bolo Hill, and then it'll drop off again into Cadiz, relatively flat through Cadiz, and then at the east end of Cadiz, you start climbing up Goff's Hill. So either way, that's it. We made it. Hope this helps you guys out, gives you a little idea of my thought process and my running philosophy. Is it correct? I don't know. Maybe not. But either way, it's how I do it. Love all you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. If this is how you run, or if you like doing it differently, if you like dragging it, whatever the case may be. And with that said, we'll catch you out there next time. Peace. No, big cat. No. Stop. Oh, no. No, kitty. Oh, that's a MiG. That's a MiG over us. Okay. It's the weirdest day ever. Oh, no. He just fell. He just fell.